Welcome to another episode of One of Us Knows What They're Talking About, and the other one is you. I'm Lorie Burch, your host. Join us as we discuss and unpack wills, trusts, estate planning, and probate law in a way that's actually informative, interesting, and, well, hopefully entertaining. Because if you don't have a will, the state of Texas has one for you. Let's dive in. So today we're going to talk about something that is perhaps just interesting to us. Well, I mean, it's obviously interesting to a lot of people, but when it comes to the actual theme of this podcast, one of us knows what they're talking about, and the other one is you. It really has to do a lot with, there's a lot of people that have no idea what they're talking about. So we're going to talk about conspiracy theories. And some of them have to do around people's death, and we were trying to find some stories, but we ran out of time. So consider this part one of at least two, where we find some good conspiracy theories that actually have a real specific probate, complicated bent, because we know they're out there. But we didn't want to delay this topic anymore because it's just so fun. So we're going to talk about conspiracy theories, which really is the essence of people getting things wrong or creating things in their own head, rather than just accepting reality. I know that this probably is not one that the team's going to bring up today, so I'll just throw it out there so everybody understands where we're starting from when it comes to how I feel about conspiracy theories. I find them interesting, but I really am like a lone gunman kind of gal. I'm like the anti-conspiracy theorist. I completely accept what's been presented, what the official line is, what the story is. I think the moon landing's real. Oh, did I take one from you guys? No, I didn't. So I can't even think of any conspiracy theory that I feel like I've really bought into. But why don't we start there? Like, where are you all on the conspiracy theory scale? If one is I accept what I'm told, and 5 is I wear a tin hat. Where are you? Cyntia, we're going to start with you. Where are you on the conspiracy theory spectrum?
I feel like I am at a good 2.53 because let me explain this. So I was talking to my spouse. I don't remember what it was about, but we were talking about my conspiracy theories, and he's like, you're not as fun to talk about them because yours have a possibility of being plausible. Like and it's just one of those things. I'm like, yeah, that's how I feel about it. I need to have some bit of plausibility there.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. That doesn't really explain why it's a 2.53, but if you don't want to elaborate on that.
Because I'm not just going to go along with it. Like, I'm not going to just put on the tinfoil hat and like live like that.
Why the 0.03 added?
I said 2.5 to 3.
Oh, 2.5.
Oh.
See, that this is a moment for all of us.
I thought you
said 2.5. Right, like 2.53.
Oh,
that's what I was waiting to understand.
You were so specific with your decimal.
Right.
2.523.
Okay, got it. Okay, got it. Okay.
Like, you know what?
All right.
I was just going to explain, like, you know how Roswell, like, I feel like there's stuff that's fallen from the sky. What is it? I don't know. Is the government keeping it from us? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite joke is about, there's 2 shooters on the grassy knoll, but that's only because of Zoolander. Really like that movie. So, it's a real toss up.
Okay. Sam, where are you on the conspiracy theory scale?
I think like a 2. I think they're just fun.
What? You're the biggest.
Really? I like to research them, and
okay.
I think they're interesting. I don't believe most of them.
Okay, quick. How do you feel about chemtrails?
Oh,
chemtrails.
Isn't there something about gay frogs?
What?
Oh, God.
What?
That's a
Hold,
first.
please.
Now we have to Google
Come on.
it.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Gay frogs or frogs that'll make you gay. I don't know. So you think you're a 2, Sam?
Yeah, I would say a 2.
Okay,
Like, there's
Sarah?
no way aliens haven't been here.
Yeah.
Well, you're here.
Yeah. Stop.
Good one.
There is a thing, LGBT chemicals conspiracy theory, and it has to do with frogs.
You're welcome,
Wow.
Sam.
God.
Yeah.
You know, I liked to play with frogs when I was a kid, so maybe that's where it all.
Sarah, hold on. It gets real good. So, animal testing in the 2000s suggested that an herbicide may have a feminizing effect on male frogs, causing them to become hermaphroditic. The research failed to reproduce these results in frogs. The reports of reproductive impact have been reported in other animals.
All right.
See, this is one where I'm just like, well, maybe
See,
maybe
you're
little
welcome,
lizard
everybody.
brains are just different.
Yeah. So, Sarah, I missed it. Where are you on the conspiracy theory scale?
I think I'm also a 2 because I like to research them, but I don't really believe them. But there are some, like aliens, that I will 100% wear
Okay,
the
so I
tinfoil hat.
I
feel,
like to point out I'm being honest. I'm just going to point that out.
yeah, I feel like people are lowballing it. So now what I need is you to, I gave examples of what 1 and 5 are. So I need you to give an example of what a 2 is, what a 3 is, and what a 4 is.
I think 4 is like you believe in them, but you're not willing to admit it. Or like,
Okay,
Yeah.
then you're a 4,
like a
Sam.
majority of them.
Okay, so thank you. What's a
Don't
3?
believe it.
I would say
Well-
3 is like you're neutral. Like you can see like both sides. You're like, yeah, I could believe it, but also
Yeah, for some
they're
of
like,
them, I'm like, listen, if
mm.
you give me enough evidence or enough like background
Okay.
stuff, I may come that direction. However, I am going to be skeptical, but I'm not just going to be so straight laced that I'm a fuddy duddy about it. That's a
Okay.
1 in my mind.
Okay. So, all right. So, Sam, you have a conspiracy theory that you want to share with us?
Yeah.
You didn't tell us what it is because you want to see our reactions.
Yeah. Hold on. I need a half the screen so I can watch you guys. As I...
Do we feel an outtake coming?
Maybe.
I mean,
Okay,
All
so
right.
it's called the straw man theory or the straw man illusion, whichever you want to call it. But it is I can never say this word, pseudo-legal?
mhm.
It is a pseudo-legal conspiracy theory originating in the redemption movement, which apparently is just people trying to not pay their taxes, and prevalent in anti-government and tax protester movements. But the theory is that an individual has 2 personas, one of flesh and blood and the other a separate legal personality, i.e. the straw man. And that one's legal responsibilities belong to the straw man rather than the physical individual. So the pseudo-law advocate claims that it is possible through the use of certain redemption procedures and documents to separate oneself from the straw man, therefore becoming free of the rule of law. And so you get out of legal responsibilities, like taxes.
So I will tell you that, I mean, straw man is a common term and it is used in the legal world and all of that. If anything, you would call, we talk about revocable living trusts and how the way those work is they're not a separate entity. They don't have their own tax ID or tax filings or anything like that. I usually say, think of it as like a nickname that you go by, but it is kind of a straw man is how that would be used by rational people. But you're saying this is a separate being that is separate from your physical being, and that's the one that is responsible for taxes and the rule of law.
And like debts and everything. It's essentially a way for scammers to try to claim that they don't have to.
No, don't try to diminish this theory. So is the straw man like it's not materialized? It's mystical. It doesn't. There's no physical presence of it.
Correct.
So which one has the social security number?
Oh. Let me see if they mention it in this Wikipedia article.
Sarah, did you have something to offer? I don't know how to read your face.
Man? No. This is brand new to me.
Okay. Now, the only thing I would say about this one is like a lot of them just make no sense at all.
Yeah.
I could see someone like making a good faith effort to get out of the responsibilities of adulting in America that we don't want to have to do. Like, there seems to be a rational purpose behind this completely irrational theory.
So is this while we're alive or when we die?
When we're alive.
Okay.
How is this like what makes it a conspiracy, Sam? Or are you like stretching the bounds of that? Like, is there like a secret society of people who make this argument believe, like, do they believe a certain way? Do they follow these principles?
Let's see. I mean, it calls it on Wikipedia a pseudo-legal conspiracy theory.
Listen, I feel like we're in the correct realm with being on Wikipedia, let's be honest.
It appeared in 1999 by a North Dakota farmer.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, he was the originator of the redemption.
Okay. All right, Sam, we're good. I think we're good. If you want to circle back to this, let's use some corporate speak. Let's put
just so much on it.
And circle back around. We're gonna parking lot this. Yeah. Okay. So interesting. All right. So some other conspiracies that you all have found. Let's start with ones that are pseudo related to our legal practice, and that is ones around death. And let's save my main man for the last one that comes up because I can talk a lot about this. So use the other ones first.
Okay. One of them that I found was, hold on, Kurt Cobain. That's a big one.
Okay.
So we all know how he died, but there
Do we
are
allegedly.
Hold on. I got beef already. Okay, keep going.
There are theories from his own family members that believe he was actually murdered, like his father and his grandfather that believe Courtney Love had a motive and was the one who killed him. And so they have proposed that there's evidence of foul play and that the case should be reopened. And they have publicly stated that they believe he was murdered instead. Which, I mean, I haven't looked that much into it as far as like his real cause of death.
Okay, hold on. If you look into it and the physics of it is a little interesting.
Okay.
Have you so you haven't really looked into like pictures of like how he was found and things like that?
No, nothing like that.
Ooh. Okay, Sarah, I think you should do that and then come back to us.
Okay.
Okay. So then does that mean we're going to skip to the next conspiracy theory around a celebrity death?
Yeah, because I'm very interested in what y'all are coming up with.
Okay, the next one is one of my favorite singers, Avril Lavigne.
I love this one. I love this one purely for the randomness of it.
I feel like if you look at pictures, though, Sam, keep going.
Okay. So the theory is that it originated in 2011, but the theory is that Avril Lavigne died in 2003, shortly after the release of her debut album, Let Go, banger album, by the way, and was replaced by a body double named Melissa. Evidence used to support the theory includes changes in Levine's appearance between 2003 and the present, supposed subliminal messaging in her follow-up effort Under My Skin, 2004, and a photo shoot in which Avril has the name Melissa written on her hand. And then there's like a BBC podcast called Who Replaced Avril Lavigne, which started this, I think, or like that kept it going. But the origins of the theory can be traced back to 2011 for a Brazilian blog called Avril is Dead, which led to conversations to start the replacement. And then in 2017 is when it like gained traction. And Avril has, of course, denied it, but nobody believes.
Well, of course she's going to.
Of course, Melissa would.
Yeah. The origin is not enough of an explanation. Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, is there? I mean, is she like secretly working for the Canadian government, and so she had to go deep underground? Like, I need to know why. And I'm not saying that she's not talented. I'm not saying that she's not popular. I'm just saying that is really random.
Yeah. So the original reason Melissa came about, she was originally hired to help distract paparazzi because, you know, Avril gained popularity pretty quickly. And Avril was known, at least at the time, to be very private. And so it's alleged that Avril befriended Melissa, and then that shortly before the singer's supposed death, her body double, Melissa, was taught to sing and perform like her. And then...
But what did she die of? What's the cause of death?
We may never know.
I mean, I don't think it's that part's known.
That part's known.
But her record company panicked and replaced her with Melissa, so that way they could get more money.
Because I'm trying to be very delicate because I do. She's talented, she's successful. I'm just saying that if she disappeared and or died, I don't think there would be any sort of ripple in the music industry nor the world.
Especially because after this, like, guys, she married Chad in what, 2013?
Nickelback.
God, I forgot about
like Melissa and Chad.
I would have to have a body double to marry anybody from Nickelback.
They got divorced.
That's a conspiracy theory that Nickelback has real fans.
Yeah.
Well, that just shut it all down.
I had to turn you down. You've been a little peaky for us over here.
That is why I am so fascinated by this one. Is just if they did it with like Michael Jackson or something, like you can see that, or Madonna, or but I mean even like Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift, but Avril Lavigne, like
she has been asked about it, and she's technically never denied it.
Jesus.
Because she got asked in 2014 about it, and they like asked if she knew about the rumors about having died and replaced, and she replied saying it's the first time she was hearing about it, and later added, "Well, I'm here in Brazil. That's not denying it." And then in 2017, she said, "No, I'm not dead. I'm here," but that's not technically saying, I guess, that she.
Oh my gosh! And then that's for all the Delulus out there.
Correct. And then in 2018, she also said, "Some people think I'm not the real me," which is so weird. It's like, why would they even think that? And then so some radio hosts were like, "She never technically denied it."
Oh my god.
But then she quoted a dumb internet rumor in 2019. And is shocked that people believe it. And apparently in 2013, there was a separate death hoax alleging that she died in a snowboarding accident.
Oh.
Why are they picking on her?
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Hold
anyway,
on.
this
on
one's
Google, good. One of the top things is Nickelback still married to Avril? Just Nickelback.
Just the entire band of Nickelback.
Wait, I didn't get that. Is Nickelback what?
Still married to Avril. I'm looking at
the whole band?
I just Googled Avril Lavigne and Chad, and one of the search options is Nickelback still married to Avril?
Because nobody actually knows that's another
Besides
thing. It's a
Sarah.
conspiracy that
Yeah.
there are like real members of Nickelback. Like they just trade them out with some random stoner they find. Question. I'm just wondering, just
Sarah, it's
purely
okay.
random.
It's okay,
Has
Sarah.
anybody here on this podcast been to a Nickelback concert?
I can say I have
Anyone?
never.
Yeah, me
Great
either.
question.
I haven't.
I have.
What?
We're aware. Okay, hold on.
No.
What?
Sarah claims that it's
Sarah.
because she had a friend who had gotten tickets and her friend got broken up with, and Sarah felt bad, so she went with her.
To feel
feel
worse.
That's exactly how it happened. She got dumped, and then she said, "Hey, want to go see Nickelback?" And I said, "Hell yeah!" Basically.
And then you
Okay,
saw
so-
Shania the next night, right?
Oh yeah, you did.
That
Was it sweat?
Or was it that
yeah.
week? I think it was like
It
a week
was like a
apart.
week later.
that's the only reason, Sarah, that you are not more affected by having to see Nickelback in concert is Shania cleansed you.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
All right. Who else do we have conspiracies about, celebrity-wise?
Well, so we have one about Paul McCartney, who is still alive and well. But well, I
Or
don't know about
is
well.
he?
But
He was
'cause-
recently dancing at Taylor's concert.
Well, Avril is still
Having a
alive
good
and
time.
well, but here we are.
So there's a theory that he is no longer here, and it's because in 1966 Paul McCartney got into an argument with the other Beatles, stormed out of the studio, and was promptly decapitated in a car accident.
All is dead.
And to cover up the whole
yeah.
thing, the Beatles hired a look-alike and a sound-alike. And then what else about it? So after going through all
The
of this
Paul is
trouble
dead when you
to-
play the White Album backwards.
Oh, I don't know that.
Really? Y'all did not look
What?
into this well enough.
Is that point of clarification,
have a
is it
lot
the
of
White
time.
Album?
all day?
Is it the White Album?
Let me double
I'm
check
gonna be
for
honest.
you.
I've never willingly listened to the Beatles.
Either.
Well, why would you when your musical taste is Nickelback?
Exactly. So what I was getting to was that after going through this trouble to cover up the you know, the look-alike and everything, they dropped clues in their album covers and lyrics to hint to the public that something was wrong, was amiss. But I don't know which album that was.
There's several things about wait, hold on.
I can't believe that
So the White
you
Album
come at
track,
us with a Paul McCartney is dead theory, and you don't even know about the Paul is dead.
Because I just think it's fascinating, but I don't.
It's when
I
you
don't
Did
need
you
to listen to
find
them.
which album or song
Revolution
it is?
9. Yeah, it's
Okay.
Revolution 9
that's the
off
White
the White
Album,
Album. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then whenever it's played backwards. And then there's reference that was on the cover of Sgt. Pepper. Hold on. Except McCartney is photographed facing the viewer, and the front cover of Magical Mystery Tour, which depicts an unidentified band member in a differently colored suit from the other three. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So this has all been leading up to one of the biggest, if not the biggest, dead celebrity conspiracies. So go ahead and regale me, whoever put this on the list, so then I can help you understand.
I thought they
context.
put it on for you to regale them.
Yeah, I put it on because I didn't know if it was a sensitive subject, and I knew you would have a lot more to say about it. So basically, that there's been Elvis sightings throughout the years.
Yeah. Did you do any research onto what the theory is behind it?
Not behind it, I just read where he's been supposedly sighted, like airports and things like that. like early
Okay.
on after his death.
And any reasons, did you read any reasons why it's suspected that he faked his death?
He was involved with the mafia.
Besides the Men in Black theory that he's an alien, he just went home?
No.
That he was in the mafia? Are you just making that up, Sam, or did you
No, it's
actually see
on
that
it's
somewhere?
on the Elvis sightings Wikipedia page. Some believe that
Stop
Elvis
looking at Wikipedia.
What part of Wikipedia page are you on? Because
the
I'm at the
Elvis
top.
files.
Oh, I'm on
Elvis
Elvis sightings,
files.
and this is
Yeah.
he didn't die. He just went into hiding. This was something that was popularized by Gail Brewer Giorgio and other authors. This is saying how he was the earliest alleged sighting was the day after he died, August 17th of 77 at the Memphis International Airport. A man resembling Elvis gave the name John Burroughs, which was the same name Elvis used when booking hotels. At that time, one could board a flight without ID, so, went for it.
Yeah, but some
Wild.
believe that Elvis was involved with the mafia during his time as a rock star, served as an undercover agent, and was found out. Thus, they believe he faked his own death to try to escape them.
Okay, hold on. I'm on a different page than you.
So on some of these there, I'm going to give you some context because for our podcast fans, listeners, viewers, I would report that there's very few people that know more about Elvis than myself. In fact, I really could do a whole podcast around one of us knows what they're talking about, and the other one is you when it comes to Elvis. So one of the reasons, Sam, that they use some of that as a basis is because Elvis liked to collect badges.
Mm.
So, in fact, there's a very infamous meeting with President Nixon where he just decided to get on a plane and fly to Washington, D.C., and wrote a letter, like pulled up to the White House and wrote a letter basically saying that he really supports his anti-drug efforts and he'd really like to get a badge, I think a like federal narcotics badge. Anyway, don't quote me on that. It's been a while and I've used brain cells for other things. But and then Nixon actually granted him the visit, and there's a very famous picture and pictures of Elvis meeting Nixon and getting that badge. But it was really just for a collection. I'm gonna have to tell you. So, did you find anything about the upstairs of Graceland? No? Okay. So, for those of you who've been or visited Graceland once, or like me, 20 plus the 30 plus times, including the time that I got married there, you cannot tour upstairs of Graceland. It is closed. And I can tell you the conspiracy reason for that is because he's still up there and all of this and that. I can tell you the official story as to why, and that's because Elvis loved to have people come to the house. He loved to host people, and he would show them all around the grounds, take them around to the horse stables to play racquetball. I mean, there's several homes around there that friends and family lived in, and just a lot of different things to do and to entertain. Lots of pianos. There's a billiards room downstairs, TV room down, like just all of this stuff. But nobody got to go upstairs because that was always private to the Presley family. And that's the way they've maintained it. In fact, when he died, his grandma still lived there, Minnie Mae Presley, also called Dodger, who is also buried on the grounds. The other big conspiracy when it comes to why, and this one's really dumb when you think about it, because why would that mean he's still alive? But that his name was misspelled on his tombstone. So it's Elvis Aaron Presley, and Aaron was spelled Aron, and on his tombstone it's Aaron. And I don't know why that would prove that he faked his death. So, but it's used as that. The problem with that is that it was with one A, but when he got older, he went to legally change it to the 2A spelling, to be more like the biblical spelling of Aaron. And when he went to change it, come to find out it had always been misspelled on his birth certificate with 2 A's. So it's not misspelled. Shall I
How do
go
you feel
on?
about him appearing in Home Alone?
I don't know. Was he in Home Alone?
So apparently he was rumored to have appeared in the background of an airport scene in the 1990 film Home Alone.
No
It was
way.
alleged that a bearded man wearing a turtleneck and a sports jacket, who could be seen over the left shoulder of Catherine O'Hara's character while she was arguing with an airline employee, was Elvis.
Huh.
Yeah.
Casually.
I think people
Casually.
don't want to believe he's dead, and it really would be nicer if he weren't. But his death really wasn't controversial. And I'm going to put something out there. If you were to fake your own death, would you have done a better way to go out than to have died in your bathroom on the toilet?
Or
I don't
maybe
know.
that
It's
was
kind
his
of
point. Yeah.
Maybe, what
right.
if that's it?
It's kind
Didn't
of
want
like
anybody to question
memorable
it.
in a way because it's not. You don't hear that.
But is that what you want to be remembered?
Listen, if you're not actually dead, you would get a kick out of it. Like,
Yeah, I would kind of find that
Yeah.
hilarious.
I think it would just
When you all get a little bit older and start contemplating like what
Mhm.
kind of impact you're going to be leaving on life, let's have this conversation again, and we'll see how you feel about that. But the fact of the matter is, there's nothing even remotely controversial about his death. But it's just
maybe
how
that's
these
the other
things.
part. It's not controversial. It's just regular
No.
things. So it's like, yep,
And
no,
do
it
you
could
know,
happen.
we had a security guard at our office that someone could have mistaked as an Elvis sighting. There's a thing called Elvis fans, Elvis impersonators, and now Elvis tribute
Oh, that's
artists.
right.
Tribute artist.
no.
There's
Or
lots of
how
people who
tall
just
was
walk around.
Elvis?
6'6'1".
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of that security
Yeah.
guard. And I'm like, well, he was taller.
Yeah. No, he was not Elvis.
He was not. I'm just saying.
Was
Like,
not.
if you have somebody, a taller individual that has
Yes.
similarities, has
Yes.
constantly the
So,
hair, glasses.
And we could talk a lot more about this, and I really would prefer to, but we'll move on. So let's start to wrap this up a little bit with some of our other favorite conspiracy theories. What else do you all? We'll move on from the death and gloom part until our next podcast when we talk about death, dying,
Death and gloom.
all that fun. What other ones do you have for us?
I'll go.
Okay, thank you.
One of my, this is like my top favorite one. And then it goes, I think, to everyone. Just that the birds aren't real. That when 9/11 happened, it killed all the birds, and then the government replaced them all with fake birds that have cameras in them.
Like all birds ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least American birds, I guess.
Just American birds.
Yeah. And they're
You ever hear the
drones, and they
saying?
spy on us.
Yeah. You ever hear the saying, "The birds work for the
Birds work
bourgeoisie"?
for the bourgeoisie.
That's where it comes from.
Yes, but
What about like pet stores where you buy, like none of those are real?
Fake.
No. Every single bird is fake. Good news for Jordan.
Yeah. But so they did exist, you're saying, and then we were able to kill them all.
Yeah,
and
like
then
9/11 happened,
replace them.
and for some reason that just killed them all.
So the events that happened, as horrific as they were, but isolated to New York City, Washington, D.C., and the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania?
Sure.
Where did that flight go down that the passengers were able to overpower them? And I'm trying to remember the field. I think it's somewhere. Anyway.
was it Virginia or Pennsylvania? We can Google it.
I don't know why I'm blanking
Pennsylvania.
on that.
Pennsylvania, okay.
Okay. So somehow that wiped out all the birds.
Yeah.
Correct.
The birds in California.
Uh-huh.
Especially California.
Especially those.
So from what about the ones in Alaska and Hawaii?
Sure.
Yep.
Are there birds there?
From sea to shining sea.
Yeah.
Then I need to know about 6-7 years ago when we went to dinner with my family for my sister's birthday at BJ's in Louisville, and we came out. I need to know what the hell all over Kimberly's car that we could not even get it off the car
It's
to
the
drive home.
FBI.
I need to know. I need to know what that was.
The
It was so bad.
government.
We drove to a gas station, and not even the squeegees could get it off. So like we were able to get like a little hole for Kimberly to drive us home, and then take it to a car wash. And I think she may have gone through a self-service car wash first, just for the embarrassment of not having actual people see what happened to this car. All fake.
So hold
Did
on.
not happen.
So there's some are claiming that Peter Mc. Okay, anyway, he's the one who started this. Peter did. At the very end of this article, it says, yes, we have been intentionally spreading misinformation for the past 4 years, but it's with a purpose. It's about holding up a mirror to America in the internet age. And it's like, well, is it though?
Okay.
He did a TED
All right.
Talk in 2023.
Oh,
I find it really funny.
about birds aren't real, or about how he was able to make up this fake, ridiculous conspiracy
I think the
theory,
whole thing.
and get people to buy into it.
Yeah. I think it's more that it's not that people don't believe it, they just think it's hilarious. Like, it's such a dumb thing.
But I would put money on the fact that there are people out there who genuinely buy into this.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
But I think a majority of like the people who made it popular don't actually believe it. Like, I will always say the birds work for the bourgeoisie, because it's like from a Vine or a TikTok, and it's just funny.
Excellent. Okay, we got a few more here. I mean, there's literally hundreds or thousands, but what are a few others that we thought we want to talk about?
One of my favorites is the flat Earth theory. I don't know why. I think it's one of my favorites because it's just so out there and kind of bonkers that people would think.
It's so disprovable.
Right. It's so disprovable, and there's so much information. But it kind of comes back to NASA. Like, people are even saying, like, "Oh, NASA's lying to us," because they're just photoshopping a picture of this sphere. It's not really a sphere. They just want to lie to us. So, I basically, if you don't know what the flat Earth theory is, for the listeners, it's rather than the Earth being a sphere, it is just a flat plane that goes on forever, and when you reach the edge, that is it. Like I said, it also kind of like ties into NASA. People think NASA is lying to us, and it kind of claims that the GPS devices and all of that are rigged to make aircraft pilots. You know how like plane flight paths kind of go at like a curve, and they're kind of weird.
The squiggles.
People think that's rigged to, make all of us buy into that instead of just flying straight across from point A to point B. It really gets into a lot of details that are so easily disprovable when you realize the Earth is round. But
quick question. Real quick question. Did you look into the study that the flat earthers have funded in Nevada, and they themselves have proved that there's a curvature?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
They proved themselves wrong, but they still exist.
That's a way to stick to your principles. One of my favorite memes is actually about disproving the flat Earth theory, and that is, if the Earth were flat, cats would have knocked everything off of it by now.
True. Very true.
Sarah, did you ever see the flat Earth guy in Denton when you were at UNT?
I was just gonna say, in Denton, there was a truck all decked out in
decked out. Like, you could not see any of the car. It's just got all flat Earth stickers.
So I have a question.
At his house,
if they do think it's flat, have they given it a shape? Is it like a square, a triangle, a hexagon? I mean, what kind of enclosed figure is it?
It's a flat oval enclosed figure. Oval. It's not a circle. It's like an oval.
An oval. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
just like a flat disc.
Okay. Oh, that's kind of
But
fun.
it's oblong, not circular.
Right.
Interesting. I was actually, I hate to admit this, but this is where our current state of affairs has led us, that my thought made me think of flat earthers. And that is, last night I was watching the Democratic National Convention, and Obama was giving a speech, and he did something that we made a reference that a lot of us make without it being literal, but he talked about the four corners of the earth. And like when he said that, it made me just think, oh my God, are like flat earthers going to be like, see?
Oh,
So actually, I
yeah.
have a fun tidbit about that. That's because that's a biblical thing. So the four corners is mentioned in the Bible, and that is why flat earthers think that there is religious
Oh,
significance behind it.
Oh,
I do
okay.
actually know that, because when I got confirmed in the Methodist Church, I was given by our minister, I believe it's called the Jerusalem cross. You have to check me on that one. But it's where it's the big cross, and then there's four tiny crosses in each of the corners. And then the concept is about spreading God's love through the four corners of the world.
Yeah, it is a Jerusalem
Figuratively.
cross. Figuratively.
Not
It is the
literally.
Jerusalem cross.
Yeah.
Look at me, just knowing shit. Okay, which again, just I have to be able to demonstrate this, or else I couldn't get away with a podcast with this title. All right, a couple more. Actually, the last one,
Okay.
because I'm curious about this one. Well, okay, no, go
Can
and
I
mention
squeeze
other
one in
ones.
before that one?
Well, I want to know what is the Frozen conspiracy? Is it about the movie?
Yes.
Okay, I don't want to
But
know.
also no.
Cyntia, what? I don't want to know. Cyntia, what's yours?
I really like the one that the health authorities are hiding all natural cures. Apparently, about 37% of Americans believe that the FDA is suppressing natural cures for cancer because of the drug
Oh,
companies.
I could totally get behind that. I hate Big Pharma with a passion. I believe it. I will wear that tinfoil hat.
Yeah, I
You know
can.
what? I like that. I like that there's like no, but that tinfoil hat, that specific one. Okay, I get that, Sarah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know if I would call it a conspiracy, at least for me, or maybe this is me wanting to hold on to my number one. But with the way that corporations are controlling so much of the legislation that we have, that we like, I I have lots of concerns about how healthy our food is, and just seeing how things are regulated. Like, it's, well, yes, got milk's so
Or
healthy. Well, why? Because
deregulated.
the milk industry is like pumping money into this, and it's like, is it? And so, yeah, I mean, I think there's a modicum of truth to that. Also, you can't, like, just get on a plane and head east, and you're going to see that. I mean, like globally, go to the different
Global
corners.
East.
Like, Eastern medicine is a lot more based off of natural remedies. Nobody's hiding that. They're just preventing our access to it.
Apparently, that is a
That's
tinfoil
very,
hat most of Burch Law will
yeah.
wear.
Yes.
Okay, so Sam, the last one.
Yeah.
Well, okay, wait, what's the Frozen one? This
Okay.
is
Yeah,
my
that
daughter's
was it.
favorite movie.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to put it, because I was like, you know Frozen. So a little bit of backstory. Walt Disney, he passed away in 1966 of lung
Does this have to
cancer.
do with his head being frozen or something?
So his body was cremated, and then was interred at Forest Lawn Memorial Park. But people think that his body was not cremated, and that his body is suspended in a frozen state and buried deep beneath the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. I didn't
What?
know that part. And
Yeah.
basically, people are like, the Walt Disney Company is waiting until medicine is advanced enough that they can reanimate him, quote unquote. And so, because of these rumors, Disney was like, we need to figure out a way to stop people looking this up. So that is how Frozen was named. The movie Frozen was named. So that way, if you look up Disney Frozen, you don't get the theories about his head. You get Elsa and Anna and everybody else.
Olaf. Okay, good. It's not good. It doesn't diminish the movie. The Walt Disney thing, like that's a pretty well-known one.
Yeah.
But I find that fascinating because did you see when there was that dip that was tracking Taylor Swift's private jet and all of that?
Yeah.
Right around that time, she went to the Jets game against the Chiefs. And I read something that said that she did that on purpose so that if you search Taylor Swift and Jets or Jet, it would come up with her being at that game.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah. Anyway, okay. All right, the last one. What is this?
It's Australia, man.
Oh, is this one me? I forgot you put this on here.
Yeah.
Just that Australia is not real.
Is this a popular
it's your revenge
conspiracy theory in your homeland of New Zealand?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we don't want Australia to exist. No, a couple years ago when you searched does Australia exist on Bing, it would say no. And it started like a joke conspiracy theory. That's it.
Being the knower of all things.
Oh, knower.
Sam, have you ever been to Australia?
Yeah, when I was 6. So a while ago.
What is the current state of affairs of New Zealand versus Australia?
Vis-a-vis.
I mean, I think friendly ? I don't actually know. But the whole like competing against each other is just a joke as far as I know. So
is it? How good are the break dancers in New Zealand? Did they make the Olympics?
I don't know.
Is there any New Zealand break dancers?
Actually, I don't know.
So what is the official, like, how do you refer to someone from New Zealand other than Kiwis? Like, is it New Zealanders?
Yeah, New Zealander, as far as I know.
Zoolander.
That's what I say.
As far as you know, you are the source of knowledge on this.
Correct, but I lived 15 years ago.
You shouldn't have to speculate.
I mean, I say New Zealander if I don't say Kiwi.
I mean, I left California 38 years ago, and I still know that we call ourselves Californians.
I mean, as far as I know, it's New Zealanders, but nobody says that because they say Kiwis.
So even about, I thought this whole time it was a derogatory term. You mean you accept being called a Kiwi?
Yeah.
Oh.
Aren't Kiwis a bird? Are they real birds?
I do.
Yes,
it's a bird and a fruit. When I came here.
But are they real birds?
Yes, I've seen one.
No.
Wow, Sarah.
Literally,
Sarah's just really being like not nice to other countries.
Back home in New Zealand, when you say kiwi, you mean the bird. When you want to say kiwi fruit, you say kiwi fruit. So when I first came here and somebody was like, yeah, I'm going to go eat a kiwi. I was like, what do you mean you're going to go eat a kiwi? They're endangered.
No, they're extinct. They're just robots now.
Like, hello? Good times.
I'm sure people eat kiwis. Birds.
I mean, I think it's illegal.
Here?
I mean, I don't know.
Well, hold on. Also, do we really want to get into
we don't have real birds here.
Flighted bird? Yeah, it's a flightless bird. So does it count?
Try their best.
Aw.
Like a penguin?
Sam. Yeah.
Can flamingos fly?
Yes.
Like fly or just like kind of, go fast enough that they could like move quickly?
They can fly. They can fly.
Like fly through the sky. Have you ever seen a flamingo flying through the sky?
Well, since they're not in their natural habitat here, we clip their wings to where they can't escape. Well, no, it's their feathers. Whenever something says their wings are clipped, it means like just the feather portion, their flight feathers are trimmed and they can grow back. It's not like they go in and like cut a tendon or something. Just the way both of you were like, oh, it's like, no, they're fine. But yeah, let me Google. Okay, flamingos, Lorie, can travel upwards of 40 miles per hour during long distance flights with supportive winds.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
I need to see a video of a flamingo flying. When we're done, I'm gonna go look that up.
I have several pulled up.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
But yeah, but most zoos in the US, they obviously clip the flight wings to where they can't escape the enclosures because most of our flamingos are in enclosures with no top, like with no netting above them.
I see. Okay. Yeah, very good. Well, this was great. This was great. There's a lot of conspiracies that are out there. Most of them are completely untrue and unfounded, but we like to delude ourselves with things that we know in our heart are not true. Like you have plenty of time to get your will or estate plan in place, or a DIY will is just as good as getting one done by a professional, knowledgeable law firm. So just don't dilute yourself, people. That's really what we want you to know. And remember that we know what we're talking about and you don't. No, actually, there's lots of things we don't know what we're talking about. And actually, in hindsight, we talk a lot more about things that we don't really know what we're talking about on this podcast than I originally contemplated. But I can say that when it comes to estate planning, probate, and Elvis, I definitely know what I'm talking about. And we'll leave it at that. Thanks for listening. And just to cover all our bases about what you just heard, I'm sorry and you're welcome. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And tell your friends about us. We do webinars and live events. The best way to stay up to date is to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Links are in the show notes. If there's a topic you'd like us to cover, maybe you have a question you'd like us to answer, or maybe you just want to say hi, hit the link in the show notes or go to burch-law.com/podcast and fill out the contact form.
Much better.
Yeah, I thought that had a lot of energy.